I've wanted to build an electric surfskate for a long time. Honestly, ever since I tried an electric skateboard, I just got this overwhelming feeling like I was riding an endless wave. I first started experimenting with this concept when I bought my Revel kit. I tried it with various Surfskate adapters like Waterborne, Yow, Smooth Star, you name it, I probably tried it. But to be honest, the riding feel just felt off. Using a pivoting adapter and pairing it with the back Revel truck just felt off. Ultimately, I did dial in a fun Revel surfy setup using a 50-degree Paris RKP and orangutan bushing. Now, that setup is a blast to ride, but I still felt like I could push this electric surfskate concept further. So when my dad asked me to build him an electric setup for his 60th birthday, this was the opportunity. So I got to work. The first thing I did was define his riding style and environment. And really all that meant was low-key surfy carves on smooth, flat side streets. My dad's a longboard surfer, so something with a longer wheelbase and mellower surfskate trucks was the move. I know this is very basic and you might be like, why are you even describing this? But I always start my builds defining the riding style and environment because it sets a solid foundation for then going and picking the components. I ended up picking the unlimited electric kit mainly because I didn't want to go all technical DIY and build my own battery because I don't know how to do that. So I wanted something in between that still allowed the versatility to be paired with any truck. It's such a bummer though, because at the time I was building this, Unlimited went out of business. And I'm pretty sure they're the only electric skateboard kit that allows you to pair with any trucks without having to go and build everything from scratch. And if you didn't know already, this Unlimited kit is a collab with Loaded. So the wheels use Orangutan Kagwama's 85mm and Jihu built-in spacer bearings. So right off the bat, the kit, wheels, and bearings are locked in. Okay, now onto the deck, which I pretty much had two main priorities for. It had to have a surfy aesthetic and it had to ride like a longboard surfboard. My dad and I have always loved fish-shaped surfboards, really that Alaya aesthetic, and I knew the perfect person to build this, which was my friend Jason at Southpaw Longboards. With most electric setups, you'll find decks that have medium to aggressive concave, and that's really because you go fast, you carve, and it locks you in. But anytime I give a setup to my dad that has concave, he rides it, gets off, and he tells me how much he hates it. So with this, I knew we had to keep it flat. And plus, if I'm replicating my dad's longboard surfboard, there's no concave on it. So it just made sense to keep it a flat deck profile. With all of this info in mind, I called up my friend Jason, explained it to him, and he immediately started brainstorming. Within a few hours, he drew up a shape, and it was exactly what I envisioned. The type of wood he used was hickory with black walnut and Purple Heart stringers with mahogany for the sides. I even shipped him my CX setup with the wheels so that he could sand the wheel wells in the right position. Mainly because I knew the 85mm wheels paired with a Surfskate truck is legit a recipe for wheel bite, and so I knew this would help. I'll talk more about why I chose the CX and how I avoided wheel bite in the next sections. Once I got the final deck from Jason, I showed it to my dad and he was beyond stoked. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't be stoked with this deck. It's a work of art. As I briefly mentioned in the beginning, I didn't want to use a pivoting Surfskate adapter because it didn't align with my dad's riding style. I picked a Carver CX setup for two main reasons. The first, it works well with a longer wheelbase. You just don't get that disconnection you do with a pivoting Surfskate adapter. And two, it's a simple bushing based design. There's no springs involved, and so there's less maintenance and you don't have to worry about stuff breaking as easily. I left these stock bushings in because I just didn't want to go too crazy, and for my dad's riding style, they were carvy enough. Plus, I couldn't go softer because of the ginormous 85 millimeter wheels. The hardware is 2-inch stainless steel countersunk Phillips head. I use Phillips head bolts because that's just what I had lying around. But if I would do it again, I probably would use socket bolts so I could have more leverage and they're less likely to strip. Let's talk about the risers because wheel bite was definitely an issue. The first time I put this together, I didn't use any riser pads because I guess I was just hoping that I could keep this super low to the ground and not get any wheel bite. But dude, there's 85 millimeter wheels with Surfskate trucks. Like, you're gonna have wheel bite. You need risers. After trial and error, I put 3 1/8 inch riser pads in the front and 1 1/8 inch riser pad in the back. These risers pretty much eliminated almost all of the wheel bite. But the key word there is almost. You can still get wheel bite if you turn super aggressively, like under 5 miles per hour. So just a word of caution, if you do ever build something similar to this, test for wheel bite and be careful. As soon as I rode this thing, it immediately brought a smile to my face. That issue of the disconnection of the Surfskate adapters with back trucks just went away with this build. I feel like it's so fluid, it's so smooth, and it really does feel like surfing an endless wave. Honestly, the best part is watching my dad ride this thing almost every single weekend and seeing his passion for skateboarding, for surfing, being reignited.
I could do this all day long. Oh, it's just so relaxing. So relaxing. And it's so smooth, the trucks are unbelievable. Oh man, unbelievable. Just like surfing.